Alright guys, we are about to try a test ride on the 2021 Indian Springfield Dark Horse. I have never ridden a Springfield, so I'm looking forward to it. I've also never ridden with Ape Hangers, ever, which is weird. Oh, power button. It's got the Thunderstroke 116, 126 foot-pounds of torque. It's in sport mode. Ape Hangers are already strange. So this has got the Thunderstroke 116. It's in sport mode, and I have not been able to figure out how to change it. I do not like Ape Hangers. These are big old Ape Hangers. Not my cup of tea. Standard mode. All right, let's try that. Standard mode. Assuming that the Chief is going to be like, or the Springfield is going to be like the Chief. For some reason, I'm feeling like I'm not going to like touring mode. We'll see. I really like sitting on this motorcycle. The seat is super comfortable. I don't get it. This is the Chieftain seat. It is so comfortable right now. I'm at a loss, guys. I think what it is I was so weirded out by the way it felt sitting on the Chief that this feels like it's supposed to. It's normal. I feel like I'm in the bike, not on top of it, even with my arms freaking up by my eyes. Alright, let me change the rider mode to touring to give it a true test. Touring, alright. In terms of size, I mean, this is a Chieftain. It just doesn't have the big fairing. Blacked out with premium black finishes. It's the Dark Horse mid-rise. These are mid-rise Ape Hangers. What are high-rise Ape Hangers? 19-inch contrast cut front wheel. Oh, touring mode in first gear is a crying shame. But the suspension on this bike feels pillowy smooth, as I would expect. Another thing I'm not crazy about is having the dash right down here. You got to take your eyes off the road to look at it, which is a little strange. I think we're just going to go by the way it sounds and feels. Touring mode. Okay, so touring mode on this bike feels totally different than it does on the Chief. This feels more like what I'm accustomed to. It's got plenty of grunt. Oh, that sounds fantastic. Wow, it's been a long time since I've ridden a bike without a fairing. Or a cruiser, I should say. I don't recall feeling this much wind on that little Trident. Bike feels fabulous. Absolutely wonderful. You cannot go wrong with the Springfield. If you don't want a fairing, maybe you just want to pop a windshield on and take it off as you please. Wonderful motorcycle. I mean, I'm already a fan, as you knew I would be. The 116 feels fantastic on this frame. You know, as far as the handling, I mean, it feels great. You know, it definitely feels lighter than a Chieftain. I'm not gonna lie. It's not something that would encourage me to buy it over a Chieftain, because the Chieftain handles fine. But if you like a bigger touring bike, something you can strap back, you know, a windshield on and do some longer riding, and then, you know, pop around town, you know, take the windshield off, bop around town, this is a great bike for that. I would be much more, I think I would enjoy this much more than the Super Chief, to be honest. I think the power is better. And what they were explaining to me is the reason that the Chief Thunderstrokes had to be tuned down is they have smaller catalytic converters than these big touring bikes. And, you know, they don't have that problem on a Springfield. I would get a Springfield over the Super Chief every day of the week. I mean, I happen to be a fan of the hard saddlebags. The saddlebags on the Super Chief are pretty small. They're pretty much the same thing that you would get on a Scout, which is, you know, it holds some knickknacks. You're not using it for any real touring. Let's get it back in standard. See, I don't like having to... Now it's in sport. There, now it's in standard. I don't like having to take my eyes off the road to do stuff. I mean, 4th gear, transmission feels great, the clutch is nice and easy. Maybe a little bit more effort than on the Chief, but no big deal. You know, these amazing, huge Indian floorboards. Suspension is nice and soft, feels good. I mean, soft as in comfortable, not mushy. We're gonna have to pop it into sport mode soon. I want to see if they've refined that at all. Oh, I love the Thunderstroke, guys. Cornering, you know, very easy to turn the bike over, no issues whatsoever. And that's the case with every Indian motorcycle I've ridden. Just simple. Now we're in sport mode. Yeah, honestly, I don't know that I really felt much more torque in sport than I did in tour or standard, whichever it was. Touring mode is fine on this bike. Sport mode's got more pop. Throttle feels a little less twitchy than it did on my Chieftain. Certainly less than it was on the Chief. I would expect them to iron that out a bit. Sport mode on the Chief was very twitchy. This is a little more precise. Don't need to twist the throttle a lot to get the juice you're looking for. Brakes are fine. You know, I'll put the specs. I think I'm putting the specs up before every ride, so you've already seen what the brakes are. I don't even know. They're just the regular old Indian brakes, not Brembos or anything like that. Oh, bike sounds fantastic. Let me just tell you that right now. on, guys. $3,000 RPMs in third gear. I mean, I'm not even touching the sweet spot yet. Oh, you feel that wind, baby, I'll tell you. I forgot what it's like to fight wind like that. Sitting straight up with your arms up like a dope, fighting the wind. Oh, I just got pummeled by a big bug right in my face. Touring mode sounds the best. Yeah, guys, so this is my actual first ride on a Springfield. It feels fantastic. It feels like a lighter Chieftain, I'm not gonna lie. The Thunderstroke 116 feels and sounds great. No complaints whatsoever. The handling of the bike is wonderful. I hate these Ape Hangers. They are really annoying and uncomfortable. It's not a good seating position for me. I'm kind of like a drag net in the wind. Makes no sense, but hey, some people dig them, good for them. Stylistically, the one thing I've never loved about the Springfield, or the vintage, I guess they're calling it now, is this big headlight cowl. It just looks kind of chintzy. It's all plastic, you know? I think if you get the vintage Springfield, which is all chrome, that's a whole different ball game. I think it looks fantastic there. Oh. Two of us. Well, almost wiped out. I definitely don't like having my arms up like this. It's a beautiful day out. It's still early, so it's not hot yet. It's supposed to get into the 90s. We'll see how that goes. It was funny, without a backrest, you give it some gas and you are literally holding on for dear life. Man, I keep getting hit right in the face by bugs. I forget how nice it is to have a fairing. That's like the 5th bug, right in the kisser, bouncing off my visor. Am I flat-footing the bike? I can if I really make the effort, but mostly I have the balls of my feet on the ground. It's fine, it's comfortable, not an issue. One footing it is easy as pie. Bike is just very well balanced, as all Indians are. Just really nice. Yeah, it's very simple. You got your gas gauge, you got the main info, and that is it. No ride command, no CarPlay. You want all that, you put your phone on your handlebars, and that's how you get it. Definitely feeling that heat off the rear cylinder. But it's not, I mean, you feel it. It's not something that should discourage you from riding a motorcycle. To be honest, in my opinion, it's just not something that is that big of a deal. Just deal with it, man. Oh, kickstand is a reach. Well, folks, that is the 2021 Indian Springfield Dark Horse. Great ride. If you don't want a fairing, that's the bike that I'm picking over probably the Super Chief so far.